Do you know that you can make chicken pizza at home without an oven? If no, stay tuned and let's do this together. Delicious chicken pizza. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. So first of all, we're gonna grab a cup of water, then add 2 tablespoons of sugar. Then we go ahead to add a tablespoon of yeast. Okay, so we're gonna stir that together and let the yeast rise. Okay, for 10 minutes. We're gonna leave that for it to rise for 10 minutes. So can you see that the yeast has risen nicely? We'll then go ahead to grab our flour. Then we add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay, I'll leave all the measurements in the description box below. And then I'll go ahead to add a tablespoon of salt. Then we mix everything together by adding the yeast and the water onto the flour. So you can use your hands or you can use a mixer to do that, but it's best to use your hands if you don't have a mixer. So I'm making use of my hands. If you've watched up to this point, hello, hi boo, welcome to my channel. It's good to have you here. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for passing through again. I love you and I appreciate you so much for always watching my videos. Please do subscribe if you haven't yet. Thank you. So after mixing the dough properly, we're gonna go ahead to put the dough on the surface and then knead the dough to make it soft and smooth. So we're gonna put it in our oil bowl and then we just leave it to rise. We cover it to leave it to rise. So it's now time to prepare or to prep our ingredients. So I'm going ahead to use my chicken breast and I'm gonna cut them into slices and cubes to my satisfaction. It depends on how you like it. Cut it to your preference. Yeah, so I'm gonna cut that, slice everything together, then we go ahead to spice it. So now that our chicken breast is ready, we go ahead to cut our vegetables, and I'm using some bell peppers, green, red and yellow bell peppers, and also some onions. So I'm gonna go ahead to slice that also to my satisfaction. It depends on you how you like it. Okay, so do you, my dear. So I'm gonna cut that as well, sliced everything together, and then we move to the next process. that our vegetables are ready, I'll just go ahead to spice my chicken. So I'm gonna go ahead to use some ginger powder, onion powder, thyme, basil flakes, some garlic powder as well, and also some onion flakes. I'll also add some paprika and also some black pepper. Okay, so after that, I'm gonna add some salt to taste. So after that is done, I'm gonna add everything together and give it a beautiful mix. So the next thing I'm gonna add is some corn flour to put everything together, and also some olive oil. Just some drop to put everything properly mixed onto the chicken. So now that our ingredients have mixed properly with the chicken, we leave it a little while and then we go ahead to start frying. Okay, we're gonna saute the chicken first whilst our dough is rising. Okay. Now that our chicken is ready, we just go ahead to check on our pizza dough, and then you can see that it has risen nicely. So make sure that you take the air off, and then we go ahead to start rolling the dough. So I made two different pizzas. One I used oil on the surface, and one I used the flour on the surface. It depends on how you like it. If you don't have flour at home and your dough is not sticky, you can just rub some olive oil on your surface and then roll your dough. Okay, so that's what I did here. But the next one, I used the flour. Okay, so two different methods. Yes, if your dough is not sticky, you can just use the oil to roll your dough. So I used one of my pot lid to section my dough. Okay. everything is done, just carry your dough and place it in your frying pan. Okay, make sure you're using a non-stick pan, and then you go ahead to lay the dough nicely onto the pan. Okay, press it down properly, nicely, and then we go ahead to start making our pizza. The next thing that I'm gonna be doing is poking holes in the pizza dough. Yes, our flatbread. Okay, so I'm using a fork to do that so that it can cook properly. Okay, because we are not using an oven. Please do this on low heat or medium low. Okay, it depends on your stove. So we are gonna flip this over. Yes, and then you just have to start to layer your pizza. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing first is adding my homemade tomato paste. Sorry, tomato sauce. Yes, homemade tomato sauce. It has some olives in there, some spices, some onions as well, and also just a little bit of heat. Okay, so I'm gonna brush that onto my pizza dough or our flatbread. Then we start to layer the rest of the ingredients. The next thing I'm gonna be adding is my mozzarella cheese. Yes, don't be stingy with the cheese. Okay, layer that, add, and add more. So the next thing we're gonna be adding is our chicken that we've set aside. Okay, then we move ahead to add our vegetables and then more and more cheese. Okay, don't be stingy with your cheese, your mozzarella cheese. Okay. So now that everything is set, you just go ahead to cover it and then we leave it on low heat. Please do on low heat so that your bread would not be burnt. Okay, so leave it, and now our pizza is ready. Oh my goodness, can you see that? Can you see that? The scent is so overwhelming. Oh my god. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. I love you all, and be safe out there. Bye.